And I believe we are live.
Be strong.
Hello there, Peter here from Macanta. So first time doing this, got some software yesterday which will make this kind of thing a lot easier by the looks of it, but I haven't done this before, so we'll see how it goes and you can let me know. It's a little bit weird talking into the ether, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. So I wanted to jump on because we've been very quiet, not just in this Facebook group, but in general we've been quite quiet. We've been extremely busy, but we have been quite quiet. So just wanted to give you an overview of what we've been up to, what's happened to Macanta, and where we are. So February, Macanta was 2 years old. And that is Macanta as a standalone platform, not an add-on to Infusionsoft as it started life a few years before that. And also, I just realized it's actually a year ago today that one of our original co-founders, Pete Daly-Dixon, decided to go and do something else, and he was hanging up his Macanta boots, so to speak. So a lot has happened in the 12 months since then. Sort of key things we've been working on is we actually just this week we finished migrating the actual backend database structure within AWS, still within AWS, but we migrated it over to have auto-scaling capability and everything to just give us much faster processing and capacity for that as we grow. It just makes it a lot easier. The other thing is we have been busy for quite some time rebuilding the interface in a new tech stack, a full new API layer between the front and the back end, which gives much better integration opportunity for third-party apps or anything like that. So I thought what I would do, I've got some notes here, I'll just take you through what Macanta looks like today. And then I can also give you an idea of where we're going with it. So I'll hop over and share my screen. And then what we have is this is just a basic app. And some of you may be familiar with the dashboard and the widgets, but this has all been rebuilt. So to begin, if you have your dashboard, you've got the widgets, you can move things around if you need to, as you might want to. If we had values in here, if we had loads of contacts and opportunities and everything, I could send emails and the like directly from here. And this just shows us current value, last 7 days, 30 days, 90 days, and the history for that. And then your tasks come up. So that's reasonably as it was before. Then you've got your workflow board, which is a bit like a Trello or a Kanban board. And you can build multiple ones depending on what your needs are. So we'll put some information in there in a moment, then you can see what we've got there. Going over the admin section, if you're an admin in an app, you'll have access to all of this, and this will be built out and explored over time. So app details does what it says on the tin, just gives you API connection details and the like. The query builder is where we build the queries that sits behind those widgets on the dashboard. So you have different options here for how you can build what criteria the data should meet in order to be in a widget and to be displayed. We've also added some new functionality to this, so you now have the option to do a list assignment. So what that means is, let's say you've pulled a query out of Macanta and you've got 100 results, you can then go and say, I want to assign this to some of the people. So if you've created round robins, you can then assign it to a particular round robin, so a particular team, and it'll then be allocated. Or you can say, I want to assign it to between a selection of users. If you've got multiple users, you can then select those users, and then what relationship should the user be given when we connect them to that object. So I'm assuming here you're familiar with Macanta's structure of data objects and relationships. And then you've also got an unassignment, an auto unassignment option where you can say, well, when the data object doesn't meet the criteria that got it into these results, automatically unassign this user from it. So you can do temporary assignments that way, or you can say take no action, just assign it and leave it as it is. And then you do have the option to go and bulk unassign, where you can just go and undo effectively and go and collect all those and unassign them. So it's just a bit of batch processing that you can do there. And of course you build your own queries. So if we then go and let's say we look at a contact, you've got access to the contact details. You do have the ability in the object builder to add additional custom fields and whatever you need to. This is just how it's standard, the sort of basic info. And then we have added the option to create contact-to-contact relationships. So you can now have direct and indirect relationships. Direct would be, let's say you run a nursery, you can add the parents and the children, and you can put in a direct relationship of mother, son, mother, daughter, whatever it needs to be. And if you then look at the daughter's profile, you can then see who the mother is with that direct relationship. The indirect relationship is when two contacts both have a relationship to a data object. So in that instance, you can, let's say you're a coaching business, you can have coaching sessions, and therefore the attendees and the coach would have an indirect relationship because they are both connected to a particular coaching session. So we've got that in there to give you better overview of the contacts. If we then just look, obviously, here it has companies and opportunities, but that is entirely configurable by you, so you add that in. We still have the notes and the task option. This big empty space here, we're not going to leave it as a desert. What we're going to put there is essentially a timeline of this contact, and it'll be a complete timeline. So any automations that is run, any emails sent, any data updates, and anything like that, any new connections to data objects, anything like that, you'll essentially see in reverse order. You'll see a history here, and you'll be able to scroll through that to get a glance of, well, what's the history of this contact in combination of all the things that it experiences in Macanta. So let's say we go and add a company here. I'm actually just going to see, I think I've got another contact. So yeah, I'll go in here. You'll see there's another tab now on this contact called Communication History. That's for email history, which we don't show on user profiles because users obviously have an email history with many other contacts in the system, and it just becomes unmanageable and not a very useful thing to see, whereas you want to see the communication, in this case with Erwin. So we can go in here and let's go and give Erwin a company. I can go and add the item here, and we can see here Erwin has automatically been assigned as the key contact, and I've automatically been assigned as the sales rep. So you can set those in the object builder. You've got access to any data object notes you add, and obviously file attachments. But let's just go and make this here. So this is Erwin's camping company. He's in outdoor activities, and we'll just leave it at that for the moment. We're going to say it's an inquiry, so we're not working with Erwin yet, but we have those details, so we can go and save that. We can run automation in the background to set the inquiry date, or we can manually set it. I'll just save that there for the moment. So that's been saved successfully, and now we can see that Erwin has a company here. for that. And I can go in and I've got a nice menu here where I can send an email based on this company. I can apply a note. I can view and or edit the relationships on that company. And of course I can get quick access to the sales rep in this instance. And then when I go to companies, I see Erwin's company there as well. I got my in-app notification here as a user that I've been connected as a sales rep to a new company, and I can click on that and immediately see the details there without losing my place of what I was doing. And you do have the notification center where you can come and see things and clear them away and deal with them. You've also got a deep work timer here, so you can say, well, don't give me any notifications for the next 60 minutes, I'm busy. They'll still be added to the list here. They just won't be coming up as pop-ups interrupting you as you're working. So now that we've created this company here, we can also go back to our workflow boards, and you'll now see that company exists in the workflow board. I can go back to Erwin's contact by clicking here, or I can preview but get full edit access to Erwin's record without losing my place where I'm actually working. So I don't have to keep going back and forth between contacts and things. I can work on stuff but stay where I am in the app. And the same for the company itself. I can see the information, I can make changes, but I don't need to lose where I am. And then I can see any additional information that's there, and I can then say, well, actually, Erwin has decided he's going to come and work with us. So I can move that across to there. And if I then go and load Erwin's record, go to the company, and we go and have a look, we can now see that he's changed to being a client. So let's go and have a look at an opportunity. Pretty much the same thing. We create an opportunity for Erwin. We're going to add an item here. We can say this is new site prep for new campsite build. Initial project we're doing. Opportunity stage, I can set defaults if I want, but let's say we're in scoping at the moment. And now I can see under my related companies, Erwin's company is here. So whenever I add a new company to the system, it becomes available as a related company here. Now, of course, that's all configured. It's not out of the box. So you have the choice on what you do there and how you do that. So we're going to create a next action date, and we're going to say provide initial plans and approvals. And we can then also see again sales rep and key contact already assigned. I don't need to do that manually, and I can save that. And now Erwin has his opportunity there, and he's got his company, and again I get notified I'm now on a new opportunity. I can view the opportunity that comes through, and again from here I can go straight to the other contact. In this instance it's a sales rep. I can see the opportunity, therefore as a sales rep when I come here I can see all my opportunities here. Just another thing I want to show you is the history. We track the history quite detailed. Any automation that would have run, if we had any set up, it shows you here what condition, what action for which contact, and date and time when it ran. Data history, you can see here it shows when field names are changed, anything, and whether it's by a user or by the API. And then relationship history, you can see when which contacts were connected. So you've got access to that information there. And then again, if we could just pop back to our opportunities workflow, we'll then see Erwin's opportunity card is here, and we can then move that along and view that the same way. So, and you do have permission control over who gets to see which workflow boards and what the criteria are. So you've got that option there. So that's just a quick overview then. Then we have in the query builder, and if we just pop back here to admin, we have the ability to create these quite complex queries. and you have, you can see a task has been created for me by the automation. So if I go back to my dashboard, I now have a task and I have an active opportunity here. So now I can come in, and again I've got those menu points where I can access and edit what I need to. I can also do inline editing if I choose, and I have my task that's been created. I can then say, yep, I've done that, mark that as complete, Owen's happy, that's off my task list. Okay, but it stays in my history. We're going back to the queries. We can build those, but what if you just want to do a search rather than build a widget for it? Well, we've added the advanced search where you essentially get the same types of criteria, where you can go and say, well, okay, if the opportunity stage is not inquiry or scoping, and I can say, and I can add all conditions. So I can build up that search query with quite a lot of control. So let's just go here. I want to see the key context details, first name, last name, email, and I can also go and say inquiry date, next action date, and next action notes. Add those in there, and I run the query, and this then now gives me that result. Now in this instance it's the same result as we saw on the widget, but if I had more, then I have the option: do I want to save it as a new query, do I want to send an email, do I want to export it, or just work with the list? So you've got that control over the advanced search there. And just looking through here, blast progress, that's just if you send batch emails to a collection of lists, it'll list here and the progress of it being executed. Look and feel is just where you change the color and your logo of the app. Custom tabs is where you can embed, get rid of that guy, you can embed outside information via iframes or whatever onto tabs in Macanta to bring information in from elsewhere. Contact to contact relationship is just where you set up, well, what are the available relationships that contacts can have to each other. And then you can also control the indirect relationships for which data object types they show. So let's say you're an events company and you've got events as data objects and you've got 50 people showing up to an event. You want to exclude that from the indirect relationship, otherwise each of those attendees will show 49 indirect relationships, which aren't really relevant or all that useful to know. Data import has been there for quite a while, but you now have data export options, and you do have the option then to say, well, am I exporting the contacts, the notes and tasks, data objects, or all of them? And I can choose what I want to do there for that export. Then workflow board is where you come and build the workflow board that we show under here. So you can come and build multiple ones, and again you get the option of what shows up and where. And then under internal support emails, so here you just come and list email addresses, and then you'll see we've given you this contact support option. So a user in your app, if there's an issue with a contact or with data or anything, can send an email quite easily to your administrator or your internal support, where then the contact who sent the email and the contact it's about, in this case they're the same person, but will then automatically be included so that it's easy access for the support on the other side to do something. Just to clarify, this is not support to us at Macanta, this is internal for you within your business to help your people. Our support for Macanta you reach through the help center here. And just to go back to admin, the object builder is where all the magic happens, where you add your relationships and you go in and you add your data object types. Now this, if you're familiar with old Macanta, you'll realize how different this is now, because we add our relationships, then we can go to sections and fields, and it's just really easy to add initial details where then you can move things around and you can see what it's going to look like on the screen for that. So it's quite a big change there. then display settings again, which columns should show in search results and the like. And then your section conditions is where you can say, well, if we had multiple sections at the top here, only show the last section if a value on the first section equals something that you've chosen. So there's additional info, let's say by turnover size. You can then say, well, if the turnover is greater than $1 million, show the additional tab, because there's additional information we want to collect. So that's on the object builder. And then user management and automation, we are still in the process of migrating over. So currently when you go to user management, you get a video of me just telling you, please go and open user management, and it auto logs you into the old interface for user management and automation. We're in the process of migrating those bits over. So yeah, so that is just a quick overview of where we've been, what we've been up to. So yeah, hope you like it. Give us a thumbs up, and any questions, please let us know. So just to give you an idea of what we're actually working on at the moment, obviously we're busy migrating the user management and the automation side, which is big chunks of work that need to be done. At the same time, the guys are busy now building a native form builder, so that you can embed it on your website and get data into Macanta with the intelligence of the data object relationships and everything, without having to go via our Zapier integration or anything. So we're working on that to get that out. And then we'll also go in, and we are busy building a scheduler, and we've mapped that out, so that will be coming down the pipe later this year as well, so that you can have more of a diary view as well. And then we also work on integrations and everything else, and overall just taking your feedback, making it faster, making it better, as you need it to be. I'll also be doing more of these broadcasts. I'm hoping that they'll be quite useful. So for instance, I'm planning one later today where I'll be building an app from scratch. We're doing an implementation for someone. You may as well look over my shoulder. It's the best way to learn, and to then ask relevant questions and go from there. And then obviously when we have new features that come out, I'll do something similar. So yeah, that's about it from me. I hope that is helpful. I hope it's useful. For us, it's all very exciting. We've not gone away. We've just been heads down, beavering away. Everyone's been working really hard. But yeah, we're moving forward, and we'd be happy to have you with us. So have an awesome day, and I'll catch you soon.
Be strong.